Welcome back to Mark's Rides. If you're a new subscriber, appreciate you joining us. We do a variety of different stuff around here. It seems like I'm never working on the same thing 2 weeks in a row, but this week I've got a little different project. Have a battery operated electric golf cart. And had for a while been wanting to switch it to lithium ion battery setup. So I found this on Amazon, and it's a complete kit. And today we're going to start trying to get this installed into the golf cart. It seems pretty straightforward. Mainly, I guess the big thing will be the mounting of the battery and getting it fastened down, that type thing. So, but we're going to get the golf cart in the shop here and get started. Okay, here's the golf cart. It's a EZGO text 48 volt, and the batteries in this are not very old, but I do think I have one bad because it doesn't hold charge very well. So there they are. So I'm going to set you up on a tripod here, take this seat off, and we'll get these old batteries out. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is flip the switch off to deactivate the onboard computer part of it, and as if you was towing it. That's what they say to do, so then we want to make sure we do that. There that is, and we'll just start taking them loose. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cable tie on these so I know where my hot and my ground was connected before. And to keep them all together. One of this is a charge port, one is the lights, and I think one of them goes to the radio. Just going to set the bolt right back down on that one. I've had this golf cart for probably going on 7 years now, and I have had to replace the batteries in it one time. All right, I'm going to get all of these undone and get them out of here, and I'll get back with you and see what we can do on getting the new battery mounted in. Okay, here's where we're at. Got the batteries out. It actually won't fit in the front bay here where the first row of batteries were. I'm about 1/4 of an inch too narrow, so I'm going to have to cut this center brace out here this one on each side and slide it back. Might even just put a new one in there. Anyway, I'm gonna get it cut out, and we'll go from there. All right, got the center brace out. I'm gonna get a wire brush and clean all this up, and I'll show you what I'm gonna put in there to replace that. All right, I have it set in. Haven't welded it yet, but I've got it clamped down to the width I want. That's within 1/8 of an inch of the width of the battery. All right, so I got the brace in there, and that's within about 3/16 of the width of the battery. And I'm gonna weld that in, and then I'll probably put a couple cross pieces in for it to set in, because the battery's not as wide as those batteries that was in it, the 3 other batteries that was across there. So let me get this welded. Should have cleaned my metal a little more on that side. Alright, I think that'll hold it. Now let's get a couple cross braces in. So I'm going to measure the length of the battery, and I'm going to put a cross brace across here and up here for the battery to set in. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the brace on this end here across and just put one there not going to be hardly enough difference in the weight of it the way it spaces out. Plus the driver is always sitting on this side of the cart, so I think it'll be fine that way. All right, there's where the cross piece needs to set at, so I'm going to get that welded in. All right, I think we're ready to get painted up and get ready to put the battery in. All right, we're going to give it to what any good guy would give it to. It's the old Rust-Oleum primer and paint. One good thing about these batteries, we won't have to worry about the acid leaking out the rust and everything like it was before. Hopefully they'll last as long. I don't know. We're just going to see what happens. As Derek would say on Vice Grip Garage, it's all rebuilt. All right, we're gonna let that dry, and then the next step will be get the battery mounted in there. Also have to mount the LCD screen for the battery monitor on the dash, so that'll be the next step. All right, so here's a final look at the tray. So we're ready to set the battery in. I'm gonna get my brother to come over and help me, and we're gonna set it in there. All right, so got the battery installed, the tray made, everything fit good there. Got most of it wired up. I still got to tidy up some stuff. This is the actual charge cable. Ended up putting a new charge port there. There's already a rubber plug there between the seats, so that worked out pretty good. So making progress. Maybe we'll be able to get the battery charged and have it running by tomorrow. I just put the display screen on here, and it's only at 35% as of right now. So let it charge and see what happens. All right, so we're going to finish up the battery conversion today. One thing I want to do is do away with the old charge port over there, because now we have the new charge port, of course the new charger. Keep in mind, all these carts have that safety feature where if the charge plug is plugged in, the cart won't move, just to keep from yanking the charger off the wall or whatever. But one thing you have to do when you do these lithium conversions on these carts is do away with that safety switch plug. And if you look, I've already cut the plug off here, but I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so the plug is here, and coming off the plug is this blue wire that you see here. This blue wire is plugged, believe it or not, to an orange wire. Here's the plug that I just cut off, and this is for the safety trip switch on it. So that actually has to be eliminated when you're doing these conversions. So what I've done, I've cut the plug off. I am going to shorten the cable up a little bit, and that's going to go directly on the hot terminal. I did get on the Jungle website last night, and I ordered some a terminal block. I don't like the fact of having all of these red wires tied over the hot cable, so I'm going to go with a terminal block on that to mount, and then run my main power to this, and a short jumper off to the terminal block for my power. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and connect this up, and I'm going to leave some length on it because I don't know for sure where I'm going to put the terminal block. So I'm going to put a ring terminal on this, and we'll see what happens. So let me get a ring terminal crimped on this, and then we'll get everything connected back. I'm going to go ahead and remove this old charge port off here too. It's got 4 rivets. I'm going to try to get them drilled out and get the plate off here. And then I've got to mount my inverter for my lights. All right, so I just rough cut out a piece of ABS plastic I have here, and I'm going to sand it, square it up good and round the corners, and I'm just going to make a cover to go over where the old charger went out, like so. And I'm also going to mount my inverter to the back of it, to the back of the panel there. So I'll get the DA sander out and get this cleaned up, and we'll show you what I have when I get through here. All right, it's a windy, cool day, but let's take it on a ride and see how it does. Ever since I changed the controller in this cart, it's not near as fast as it once was. I mean, it's fast enough, but it's not as fast as it once was. I think there are a couple of modifications I can do on it, and I may do those in the future just to see if it get a little more pep out of it, a little more speed out of it. hitch on the back. I actually use this to pull my garbage can to the road. I live pretty good ways off the road, so that's what the noise you're hearing is. Okay, radio still works. So the next thing I'm going to do is get the charger mounted on the wall, and I think we're done with this project. Okay, here's a final look at everything on it. I've got the monitor mounted there. I just done away with the old voltage display and put that there. It actually goes off if you don't touch it, but it also has a power button on the side, so you can actually flip it off when you're not using it. The charger, I haven't decided. I think I don't need to mount it because both cables on it are pretty short, and if I mount it on the wall, it's not going to reach. So I guess I'll have to make me a shelf to set that on to so it'll reach the plug where I keep the golf cart at. And let me show you underneath one more look. So I'm still in the future going to get that a terminal bar to go over there to get rid of some of those cables on the battery. But you can see there's the inverter for the lights. I mounted it there on the back of the plate. The battery tray modified where the battery sits in tight. Probably going to put a strap around that battery just to be on the safe side. I don't never get it that fast and don't go over any jumps or anything with it, but might not be a bad idea just to mount it in there, even though it fits pretty tight. And it's in a metal case, of course. So on the front side, made the plate to cover up the old charge port. There's the new charge port in the middle on it. So far, so good on this kit. I think I've got less than $900 in the complete thing. So pretty well satisfied. We'll see how the battery holds up and see how the life is on it. But you know, I think it's for the money. You know, I couldn't replace the other batteries in it. The other batteries was beginning to get to the end of their life, I'm sure, because I put them in about 5 years ago, and that's pretty typical for batteries not to last much longer than that, from what I can read online and gather up. And some of you may know a little more about that than I do, but just thought it was a good idea while I had the time to go ahead and change it over. So I'm going to make that a wrap on this video, just a short little video on me changing this over. I thought some of you guys that in the golf cart world might be interested in how it's working and how it did and how it's really pretty simple. The main thing on that is just to remember on your old charge port to pull that switched wire off that sends signal, you know, when it's not being used, and when the old charge plug's plugged in, it actually cuts it off. So you got to remember to have that connected to a power source on that one wire. But everything else pretty well straightforward. Didn't have any issues. The main thing is just modifying your battery tray a little bit, and you know, reconnecting that wire and kind of tidying up things. One thing you'll notice in here too is the weight. I mean, we got rid of a whole bank of batteries, so you know that's got to be, I'm gonna guess, probably, you know, 100 pounds, maybe more, that we took off of it. So we'll see how that goes. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good week. Remember, get out in the garage and have a little fun.